So week 6, let's just get you going. Let's get this running. Justin Jefferson, I think it's safe to say he's the best wide receiver in football, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so you would think that losing him would hurt your fantasy outlook for the season.
That's bad. Yeah, that's a bad thing. Yeah.
Normally, yeah, but I'm going to take a little swerve here, and I'm going to say that this week, guys, believe it or not, Kirk Cousins is him.
Oh.
Going up against the Bears in Chicago, he's got enough weapons with Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and KJ Osborne, and the Bears allow the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks at 27 a game, and 5 quarterbacks against Chicago have scored at least 20 a game this year. So I'm saying, even though he doesn't have Justin Jefferson, my cousin, for the next 4 games, they still have some weapons there in Minnesota, and I like Kirk's chances, so I'm going to say he's him this week.
How often do you and Justin talk?
Probably like once a month. Cool. Family reunions is when we usually him and the cousins get together and we throw down. So.
And he dominates the backyard football game, right?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
There's some athletes in the family, but he's the one. Also, another guy I got, he's a new guy here, Amari DiMercado, running back for the Cardinals against the Rams. Now, 3 running backs in the past 4 games have scored at least 14 points per game against this Rams defense. And Amari, he had 10 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown last week. So he's in there for James Conner, who's going to miss some time. I like his chances going up against the Rams defense. If you don't have a running back that you're happy with, stick him in there. I think he might be him.
All right, something also to consider. Amari DiMercado, the rookie from TCU, played there at SoFi in the national championship game. Obviously, did not do so well. He didn't do so poorly. TCU collectively didn't do well. He is from L.A. I did not know that. He could ride his bike to his house. From SoFi.
So he's got some family and friends probably in the crowd,
so
right?
This is literally a home game for him. I like that pick.
I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't even know. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, so let's get to who's not him. Okay, well, Andrew, you're going to go do the Browns game this week.
I am. Yes, excited for that.
Do we know the P.J. Walker, Deshaun Watson situation? I believe looks like Walker's going to start.
I would say, we do know this. Kevin Stefanski did confirm that if Deshaun cannot go, it is P.J. Walker. Okay. He is going to be the quarterback that would start. Deshaun did not throw or he might have thrown behind closed doors, but he did not officially practice today. The Browns are still being coy. I would say if you're not practicing Thursday, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, definitely.
But Alex Van Pelt, their offensive coordinator, did just say on the podium within the last hour, we're going to give him every chance he can to get out there.
Well, even if Deshaun was healthy, I wouldn't like Amari Cooper this week going against that 49ers defense. And if he doesn't play, I like Amari even less. He's at home. Cooper usually does pretty well. But this 49ers defense, as we've seen, man, they're just on lockdown. They're locking cats up right now. So, unfortunately, Amari Cooper is not him this week. And another guy who's not him this week is someone who I really like. I tried to get him on my team, and that's CJ Stroud, quarterback of the Texans, going up against the Saints. Now, the Falcons held CJ to 16 fantasy points last week, and the Saints defense should be able to kind of hold him in check a little bit. I really just love the New Orleans Saints defense. I think they're very underrated. I do like CJ, but just not in this game. If you have another quarterback option, I'd say roll with it in this particular situation. And you know who might be him? It's a guy who I mentioned in week 2, I believe, that I knew he was coming back this week. If you had room to stash him, get him. And I think now with the injury to Devin Achane, Jeff Wilson, running back of the Dolphins, he could be him. Carolina is number 2 in most fantasy points allowed to running backs, and 7 backs have scored at least 11 PPR points against them this year, with 9 total touchdowns being scored, guys. So, last year he scored 11 points per game in his run with the Dolphins. We know the coach likes him. Jeff Wilson, Chris, if you've got a shot, if you've got some empty space on your bench, you shouldn't. But if you do, you got a guy you're not so happy with, try to grab him, because I think he might pay dividends as this year goes on. And also KJ Osborne. We talked about Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson's gone. That's going to leave a big void in that offense. Hawkinson's going to get his. Jordan's going to get his. But I think if you got room, KJ Osborne might be a nice little pickup for you this week in fantasy and going forward for the next 4 games.
Interesting that Jeff Wilson won. Interesting. Because remember, even if Raheem Mostert is the number 1 guy, he and Achane were sharing it, and they both ate.
They both ate.
Exactly. So even if Mostert is still, quote-unquote, the guy, they can both still do that thing. All right.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.